Oh, great. How to do.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Uh, hey, thanks for the subscription, Mike. Uh, welcome to session 13 of Geist the Sin Eater second edition, Second Chances. Hopefully, we've got our tech problems slain, among other things. So, knock on wood. Let's go ahead and hop on in. So, today will be Sunday, November 26th, 2023. It's been 3 days since the last session. What has everyone been doing during that time? Who wants to go first?
I'll get started. So, on my first day, I spent an evening with the Mad Gravedigger to get him talking about his time as a Geist and see if he knows how one can learn a new haunt. The Mad Gravedigger loves talking, especially about himself. Um, so I got a lot of information on that. He was a Sin Eater from the 50s to the 70s, so he was active for 20 years. That's new. And apparently he and his learned haunts in multiple ways. Other sin eaters they met in the underworld, which means we can learn from other sin eaters like each other. From other geists who had previously been bound. From various records left behind, objects infused with powerful deathly essence, and from the remains of Sin Eater souls found washed up along the shores of the underworld rivers and the ocean of fragments. So, lots of ways for Ty to find some powers to actually be useful again. Um, and the next day, I ran our usual rituals. The ghosts are thankful as always, and then I went and coached for the hockey team. My coach is pretty happy with me. The school hockey team is motivated, and we're doing great. Um, lastly, we recently found out that Miss Deanne Palmer uh, is a necromancer based off of our brief runs in with her, and her kid apparently, Barbara Palmer Reed, is at our school.
Granddaughter.
Granddaughter, my apologies. I don't know, man. Granddaughter, Barbara Palmer Reed, goes to our school and is part of the local paranormal society. Got talking to her and learned about her family a bit and see if I can't figure why she's pinging the radar. Well, she's a year younger than me. She's tall, thin. She's got black hair, pale makeup. She's doing the goth thing. And she's wearing an antique locket, which is giving out a powerful deathly chill. And I think I remember seeing that locket around the neck of a certain ghost possessing lady back when everyone was gonna die in uh, the gas attacks in the theater. So we're gonna have to follow up on that one. Um, so yeah, that was me.
To go next.
I can. So, day one, I thought I would do something really cool, which is take the projectionist to the hospital and see if there was anyone like dying that he could find a body for. And then Kenny said the most damning words in all of language, which was roll a chance die. And so I failed that roll. And then I was like, you know what? We're going to willpower that and re-roll it. And I failed it again, even worse. So I fucked us, and this is my fault. But the projectionist now is fettered to Granny Heartstopper's granddaughter, the little Girl Scout with the heart problem.
Susie Coleman.
Yeah. So that's me. That's on me. That's my bad. You can yell at the dice roller if you wish. But that happened. And so day two, I thought I'd do something also nice. And thankfully, this one sort of worked. And I spent the day with Chloe to see how she was after witnessing all the murders and everything. And she's pretty shaken. She didn't expect witnessing the murders to be a good time, but she also didn't expect it to be so brutal. Basically, the publicized facts of the case had glossed over a lot, and just basically told them that they were artistically presented. Um, but she got to see all of the nitty gritty, so she's a little shaken up. And day three, I decided to use the Oracle to ask a very important question about the Danse Macabre, that original tableau of our deaths. And the question is, what here has gone unseen? And the answer was fucking nothing. So we have seen all there is to see about the Danse Macabre. And that was me.
Hey, Ebbs?
Okay, so my my downtimes were a bit more uh straightforward. The first day I gave Delilah Cotton kind of the rundown of things in the town when it comes to politics and uh social machinations on both the uh mundane side and the not mundane side. Um Then day two went to the underworld and used the boneyard to scout out that box that we quasi saw in the
Hate to
last.
interrupt briefly, but Void's right. Everyone is in the wrong box except for me.
My apologies. It's fixed now. There
Hey, there we
was
go.
Continue. Sorry about that.
there's a mild hiccup. My apologies.
Hey,
I got 3 tips.
I'm sorry. No, okay. So day two used the boneyard on the um the dense macabre to see if we can find that bone that box, which turns out, let's see here, where was it? Make sure I'm remembering this correctly. Yeah, um it's in Lord Giltskull's manor, so that's something that we might want to have to do something with. And then the last day, I gave um I kind of gave Old Man Houlihan an explanation on why I had been spending time with him and um, managed to barely squeak out a success on a difficult roll to convince him that I'm not bullshitting. So he's yeah, it should be interesting to see where that goes.
Alrighty. That having been said, let's go ahead and hop on into the act. So it is Sunday, November 26th, 2023. Ty, I believe that you had something that you needed to do today. What about the rest of you?
I had plans to go see Chloe and talk to them about something I'd been wondering about.
I can join you. Otherwise, I'm just going to be sitting here practicing for speech and debate until we're ready to gather up.
Um, I'm doing some uh off-screen glitch hunting for for my speed run, seeing if there's seeing what I can yeah.
Seeing what you can accomplish with your shiny new powers.
Yes.
All right. Well, I believe Chloe has a couple of places they tend to hang out for the supernatural stuff. There'd been that cabin up on there, but I'm sure there's some other stuff that they've been doing for the Paranormal Society. I find an excuse with that to go hang out with them. And once they're there, I say, "Hey, so I I needed to figure out something, and I think I know the answer, but what happened to your legs?"
So, Ty and Nathan find Chloe engaged in paranormal society activities in the school library alongside the rest of the club. When Ty and Nathan show up to talk, Chloe picks up her crutches and tells the rest of the paranormal society that she'll be back in a little bit. Out in the hallway, the three of them meet to speak, and Ty asks about the leg. So, with that being said, I think I'm going to want a social role of some sort from one of you.
Um, I I've got a present socialize. I'm not particularly amazing at this.
Nathan is also around.
Hey Nathan. Well, I was initially going to have this conversation. How about I put it in the hands of somebody who's got more tact and depth than a person whose stats are built like a sledgehammer?
How would presence plus persuasion with an emphasis in de-escalation work?
Sure, I'll allow it.
My apologies. Can you run this for me then, Lex? I need to. I think for those of you playing at home, and this is out of character talking, uh, Ty suspects that the reason why Chloe suddenly stopped being able to walk is because Sarah's cancer treatments caused her
Hi,
to.
great folks.
Uh, thank you, thank you, Rosie. Um, caused her to wobble at the wrong time and caused Chloe to fall, which would explain why Chloe's not in cheerleading anymore and why their relationship was strained at the end. Chasing back Be Aggressive's regrets is kind of what I'm doing right now.
4 successes.
Alrighty. So, what are you saying to get her to speak?
Okay, my character is a lot more eloquent than I am, so please bear with me. Um, I apologize that this may be a sensitive subject, but I feel like it would put certain pieces together for us if you were to confirm possibly what happened to your legs. If you wanted to talk about it with us.
Chloe bites her lip and looks down at the ground, with eyes going from one crutch to the other. She takes a deep breath and says, well, I guess I do owe you the explanation. And it's been on my mind since the other day when you did that ghost thing. and let me see all the, her voice trails off and she goes quiet for a moment before taking a gulp and saying, before I saw the deaths. My knees and hips are messed up from an injury, she says, by way of explanation. I've been on these crutches for a year, and I'm probably going to have to transition to a walker or a wheelchair because I'm not going to be able to walk without aid ever. She looks back up, takes another deep breath to steady herself, and says, it was last year, a couple of months before this time. Void, congratulations extremely on that. We are going to need to do something with that. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a text channel in our Discord for the Create a Ghost reward, since it's been redeemed twice. And that way we can discuss what you want to do for your ghosts. And we can get them in next session. Congratulations. This is going to be fun. Can you put down a reminder for me, Jeff?
Yep.
Use the reminder bot we have. Alrighty. So let's get back to it for now. So it was around this time last year, she says. Around a couple months before now, August, around homecoming, we were practicing for one of the routines. We were doing the pyramid step. It's something that we've done a million times. Nothing major. I was going to be on top, like always. And Sarah was square in the middle as squad captain on the foundation. When we were doing the pyramid, she collapsed, took the whole pyramid with her. I fell and hit the bleachers real hard on my left hip. My knee took a battering on the way down too, on both my left and right legs. When I was in the hospital, Sarah came and told me what happened. She had just recently gotten her cancer diagnosis. She told me she didn't want anybody to treat her like she was sick or dying. So she kept it to herself. She had started chemotherapy a week or two before, and she was powering through it till suddenly she wasn't. We got into a big fight. I was throwing stuff and screaming because on the one hand, I wanted to feel bad for her, but because she kept this secret, I wasn't going to walk again. I was out of cheerleading. Sarah felt bad for me, but she wanted to keep her sickness secret as long as she could. I kicked her out. She takes a deep breath, and I know I said we were best friends, but that was actually the last time we spoke. I'd been thinking about, apologizing because she didn't have long left, maybe 6 months or a year, and I didn't want her to die before we made up. And then she goes and gets killed. And I felt awful. I thought the least I could do is try to find someone to blame for her death. That's why I was so huffy for a while. But I guess it's too late to really tell her that I'm sorry, even if she's still around with you, Ty.
Um, Chloe, I get waiting too long to tell somebody something. I get that more than anybody. But uh, the fact is, you did what you could in the moment, and nobody can ever really be prepared for lightning out of the sky. Nobody was ready for what happened. And the thing is, well, I don't know Sarah's heart entirely. I can't tell you everything. I'm connected pretty deeply with Be Aggressive, and they've never stopped thinking about you.
Chloe bites her lip at the mention of Sarah's Geist, but nods. Still, thanks, she says, but it's not the same as being able to look into her eyes and tell her I'm sorry. And it's not going to happen. I guess this is the best I can do.
Yeah. Um,
Some
there was one other thing I wanted to talk to you about. I don't want to make promises because I don't know if this works like I think it will. Is there any way you would be willing to get me the x-rays of your injuries? I wanted to see if I could figure something out. I don't know if it'll work, so I don't want to make promises, but I think I have an idea.
She raises an eyebrow and says, I can probably get them from the doctor. Yeah.
I need to look into a few things, but I had an idea, and I don't want to tell you what it is in case it's as dumb as I usually am. Ty looks sheepishly. He's not been doing well the last couple of weeks. I mean, not the last couple of days. He's not really had that charming confidence he had before. Mildly deflated ever since he saw uh, the Undertaker bending steel with his bare hands. I want to find some way I can be helpful. Maybe this is it.
Chloe thanks the two of you for coming by, but mentions she needs to get back to her club activities.
Mm-hmm.
The club is going to be doing some research recently into some of the haunted places around town, in particular, the old church. So with that, she heads back into the library, leaving the two of you in the hall.
So, Nathan,
Yep.
I have um, some magic items that have the influence athletes, and one of them lets me to change and alter. Chloe is a cheerleader. Maybe not right now, but you know, don't lose that in 6 months. I don't think so, anyways. If I knew what was wrong with them, and maybe I sat down with somebody who had some medical knowledge, maybe I could help them mend a bit over a couple of efforts. I don't know. It's probably stupid. I was supposed to punch the guy, you know?
It's worth a try.
I'm gonna. One of the things I've been wanting to do is get our hands on somebody who can investigate bodies to help with a couple of things. I think if I can meet somebody like that, maybe make contact with somebody medical, I could probably get some help there. And if I had the idea of what would need to be fixed to put them right, maybe I could do it over a couple of tries. It's nothing saying it couldn't work. I mean, I was dead. Anyways, let's go get Ethan.
Yep,
I
sounds
feel
like a
dumb.
good idea.
I feel dumber every time I talk about this. Thank you.
Look, you can feel dumb, but nothing works the same anymore. So if you're gonna think, you might as well think outside the box.
Let's go.
Alrighty. Before we move on to the next bit, I want to talk a little bit about influences since this has come up. On page 191, there is an influence duration chart. For an influence to have a permanent effect, you would need uh, more than 5 dots in total influences.
Mm. Ah,
With 2 dots, you can go 1 hour per success.
gotcha.
But that's okay. That's actually proof of concept and would convince her to give us more time.
The thing is,
If you,
this is just Ty trying to figure something out more than anything.
it's a good idea. You could either go for permanent healing or a lesser effect, like a removal of pain, or something like that if you wish.
The idea he had was maybe getting them in a position where surgery could help. You know?
So, out of character idea. Um, so maybe a combination of haunts might be able to help here. The was it Ethan or Nathan's becoming a ghost. I forget what that one's called.
Shroud.
Shroud. While they have the Boneyard active. So Boneyard makes it so you have complete awareness of everything within its area, including if you wanted to fo I could imagine focusing down on the injury, and then the shroud to be able to kind of phase in and manipulate things.
Okay. Um, we're going to talk about this afterwards. But so we had another appointment today, which I think is going to be rather exciting. Um, we got asked by Guilt Skull a while back to figure out what happened with the things dropping all over town, and we have an answer. We know what's causing it, and but if we want, he wants us to actually solve it. We've got some things we need from him. Hello, people who are actually good at negotiating. So just to cover this, both to make sure everyone's on the same page and to let our players at home know all about what we're doing, we've got a couple of things sitting in Iltskull's inventory that we need. One, um, the only person we know with any knowledge of things happening outside the river cities is Nathan's grandpa, who's currently sitting in the pit, which is, as far as we can tell, some kind of horrifying labor camp where they're digging up mementos from underneath the city. Not mementos,
Cast-offs.
cast-offs from beneath the city. My apologies. Went for the wrong ghost-related item. Um, the other thing is that he's got a box with a ghost in it that might have some really important answers for us. That is sitting in his treasury. I would like to walk away with both of these things today. And the thing we have to offer is making sure that 17 fucking more of these things don't goddamn drop. Because his initial plan, I think, was to drop 30 of them. So this is going to keep happening. And based off of the map here, it's going to be surrounding Purgatory Junction. It's going to be all around the inside of the city. So it's going to get worse and worse all around his favorite things. So, yeah, I think he's going to be motivated to let us do our work so this doesn't get worse and worse.
I'm making a last minute experience purchase of a fourth dot of persuasion.
All right.
Forgot that.
Yeah, I had spent for the presence the fifth dot, and then I forgot to spend the last two for my skill. So
And before we move on, I'm just going to put in our chats for everyone's reference uh, the influence, effects, and duration information.
Sweet.
So I just need to find the right ghost at this point, is what it sounds like. Or we need to uh, talk Prom Queen into it because they can. They simply can.
I am going to go ahead and, for everyone's reference, pop a link to our Dead Clown Players Discord into chat. It's open to everyone.
Alrighty. So heading down to the underworld, huh?
Yep.
All right. Taking anyone with you or just the core crew?
How dangerous do we think this is, guys?
We're going outside the city if this goes well, so honestly, this could be pretty dangerous. I think the only person I'd really think of bringing with us is our usual ghostly companions. You know, August and Moneybags,
And
but that's about all I can think of.
okay,
I'm not sure how safe it is to bring living people to wander the space between, you know, things, and it might cause some political problems with
that's fair.
Guild Skull.
That's fair.
After all, look at what happened to Delilah.
Alrighty. And the ghosts are solid in the underworld. So are you sure you want to bring them?
Hmm.
That's up to you.
You know what?
I don't want to risk Gus because I'm pretty sure that uh Lucy would kill us.
I I think we just go alone. I think this is a core crew sort of day.
We've got our Geists. We'll be fine.
Sounds good to me.
Let's go talk to the big man himself.
Oh wait, one last thing. Did we get the top side, bottom side, like walkie-talkie cell phone thingies working?
I don't remember that project.
Sorry, which one?
The one where you were trying to make cell phones that worked in the underworld?
Uh, so I don't recall that particular thing. I did make an app for mapping.
That was
I think that was a plan a long time ago and we never got the bits together
okay.
Yeah.
because we need to get the dead server made and we never figured that one out.
Yeah. Okay,
Phew.
so we're good.
All right,
Yeah.
let's get moving. Okay, so we head on down to the underworld. Um, I think the way to roll in for this is just an absolute confidence in what we're doing. So do we want to just rock up to the front door and say, "Hey, Guild Skull, we got that thing you asked about"?
I mean, I think that would fall under presence, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Presence is wielded like a sledgehammer.
I am now the most presenceful person on Earth.
At least those without 6 points in their relative power stat.
Soon.
Okay. So the crew heads down into the underworld and into Purgatory Junction. Uh, not too far from the center where the pit is, you can see Gilt Skull's Manor, uh, built on a small hill, likely artificial. Uh, in the mortal world, it wouldn't qualify as a mansion anymore. A large house, 3 stories. By the looks of it, probably a dozen rooms. But it's certainly the most luxurious building you've seen in the underworld, short of the Dead Mall. A wrought iron fence, or at least the cast off ghost of one, surrounds the perimeter with a couple of guards at the gate.
Excuse me, we're here to see Mr. Gilt Skull. Is it Mayor Gilt Skull? This is out of character.
Lord Paramount.
Excuse me, we're here to see Lord Paramount, Mr. Gilt Skull.
The guard leaning against the fence stands up straight. He's a big man, or probably was before he died. Not anyone that you recognize. And he looks you up and down before realizing that you're one of the sin eaters that have been wandering around recently. He takes a moment to think to himself before nodding and saying, I'll let the boss know that you're here. I can't guarantee you an audience.
I appreciate your. I don't know, insert an appropriate word completely in character, please.
Candor?
Can't.
Yes. Thank you.
You're kept waiting at the gates for about 10 minutes before the guard comes back and opens them to let the three of you through. No funny business, he mentions. Uh, the Lord Paramount owns this city. So unless you want to see what it looks like in the pit, or you want to get locked out, Purgatory Junction entirely, I recommend you mind your manners.
Nathan nods.
The guard guides the three of you into an office. Not like a modern one, but one that you would probably consider more like a study. Large desk, bookshelves full of various books. It wouldn't be too impressive topside, but here in the underworld, knowing that each and every object there is a rare one of a kind cast off found somewhere by some ghost and gathered into this room, it impresses upon you the power and wealth of the Lord Paramount of Purgatory Junction. He sits at a leather-bound seat behind the desk. Hey, give me just a second to ban this bot. There we go. Very complicated name. Took me a minute to type it in. All right. You haven't, this is the first time you've really gotten a good, hard, close up look at Gilt Skull. You've met with him before, and he definitely lives up to the name with a skull coated in what appears to be gold. His frayed purple suit and top hat were definitely top of the line once upon a time. Of course, an object doesn't become a cast off if it is in good condition. Likewise with the expensive looking but visibly broken cast off pen that he writes with. He looks up at the two of you, candlelight gleaming yellow inside of his empty eye sockets as he looks up at the three of you, not the two of you, and tilts his skull to one side. Oh, our local sin eaters. I was told you were looking to talk to me. As you can see, I am very busy. How can I help you today?
Do you want to talk? Should I talk? Do you want to tell me what
I'll
to say?
I'll lead in and you can follow up from there.
Okay.
So, when last we spoke, you asked us to figure out what was happening with the things being dropped down from the mortal world. We know what's causing them and why.
It's hard to see an expression in an unmoving skull, but you think that you think that the firelight is from the candles is gleaming off his eye sockets in an expectant manner. So you figured it out, have you three?
Yep.
Well, Tell me.
You still good? Should I?
I'll happily continue. So here's the basics. There is upstairs a man who has been maintaining his youth, strength, and vitality by devouring the spirits of the dead. And he is using some sort of ritual involved with the slaughter of innocents to create those tableaus. His intention was to drop 30 of them at once the first time. Instead, he's settled for doing that one at a time. He intends to keep going, and right now, we do not have the power to stop him. The information that we need is locked behind two things, both of which are in your possession. Number one, there is a man currently working in the pit. I'm sorry, Lex, I cannot remember your grandpa's name. Could you take over here?
Yes, the man we're searching for is William Cartwright. Uh, we do believe he was recently sent to the pits, and he has knowledge that we require of the areas outside of Purgatory Junction, where these next tableaus, maybe not the next ones, but some of the next ones, will fall.
Additionally, one of the only people with information has traveled outside of Purgatory Junction, and the only way we might be able to figure out where is through him.
Lord Giltskull takes the paperwork that he was working on and delicately puts it into his desk drawer. He looks back up at the three of you, steepling his bony golden fingers. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but most ghosts don't remember their names. I don't remember mine. And if there had been a ghost that had mentioned a name like Cartwright, I'm sure we would have all remembered.
Forgive
Do you
me.
know what nickname he may have chosen for himself after death?
Yes,
like-
forgive me. It's Omnis Monty.
Giltskull goes silent for several seconds, tilting his skull around to look directly into the eyes of each of the three of you. Honest Monty should count himself lucky that he was sentenced to the pit. I should and could have simply thrown him into the sticks.
How about instead you banish him?
Under you talking banishment under our supervision?
Why, yes, we'll make sure he never comes back here. Under any circumstances.
I could allow that, says Giltskull, under one condition. I'm not looking to lose any more guards bringing someone out of their mine shaft. You have to descend into the pit and bring him out yourself. And then afterwards, I never want to see Honest Monty again if he's not accompanied by one of you three. If he is unaccompanied, then I will immediately seize him and have him thrown into the sticks. Is that agreeable?
Absolutely.
Understood.
The other item in your possession. Around the same time that the first tableau fell, I believe that you may have come into possession of a small wooden box with a number of silver chains wrapped around it. Probably right around the same area. I hope against hope you did not open that box.
I don't believe he would be able to, given what it is. If I remember correctly, it's kind of an anathema to ghosts.
Does anything meet that description?
No, says Gilt Skull flatly. I will write you a letter of recommendation to get you into the pit.
So we're gonna play this game. Little box, silver chains.
Hold on, out of character. Do you have the presence or manipulation to back this up?
I have subterfuge.
What's your highest social stat?
Presence.
Actually, yeah, presence plus subterfuge. I think you could probably pull this off. So, how about a roundabout description of exactly where you know where it is? That might be
Hmm.
a nice threatening way to do this.
Yeah.
I'll roll to assist.
Yeah. Yeah. So I go into detail the exact position of where it is, and I'll throw in I'll bullshit my way through the guard rotation as well.
3 additional dice.
And a +1 for the intimidation factor of what you just told him.
Okay. Dun, dun,
Kenny, I have reconciler and sympathetic. Are we able to remove doors from him for that?
I'm not having this be a full-blown social combat.
Okay, perfect.
Oh no, I'm willpower in that.
Fail roll.
Not on 11 dice.
Slight difference.
Yeah,
Ever
I
so
think an
slight.
exceptional success is a little different.
Yeah.
The silence between the yourselves and Gilt Skull goes from awkward to mildly threatening. You become aware of the fact that Gilt Skull has at least 2 guards in this room with him. You can see them shift to look down for whatever weapons they carry, knives, old handguns. But Gilt Skull raises one immaculate golden hand, and they stop. Okay. I understand that you are perhaps more well informed than I thought. But I cannot give you the box. The ghost within is too important to my vision of the future.
The ghost within is the only way to undo the tableaus.
Uh,
And it can't be done by someone who resides below.
what was the name of the ghost that
Jacques.
shot?
I don't know what Jacques has told you, but he used to eat your kind.
Gilt Skull shrugs. Lots of ghosts eat each other. Ectophagia is common. It's not allowed in Purgatory Junction, and I assure you, he hasn't eaten anyone since he arrived, as he has not been let out of his box.
He's also he's also the um, reluctant mentor, let's say, of the person making those tableaus. You want those stopped, you want them stopped sooner.
We need to talk
We're,
to him.
yeah.
I can't give him to you, but I am willing to let you visit with him. But his time is so valuable.
Hmm.
I'm afraid you're going to have to offer something a little more than promises.
Hold on, out of character. This guy is bullshit. I am not paying to clean up his mess. The mess that he asked us to clean up.
So in character, so so you want us to pay so that we can prevent a disaster from happening to the town that you run.
Nothing so crass as money, he says, shaking a hand. You want to avert a disaster in Purgatory Junction? I'm asking you to avert a disaster in Purgatory Junction. You see, recently, the church in town has been receiving an influx of new arrivals from topside. Father Calavera has been busy.
Ah,
The resources of the church are strained.
Thing.
So so you're hoping for humanitarian aid.
I think he's asking us to return Father Calavera to his post. Is that correct?
He leans back and says, I would be happy with either solution. More bodies means more workers, more people paying rent, more people being productive. But if I cannot feed them, then this only leads to crime and ectophagia. If you can get Father Calavera to stop bringing ghosts to Purgatory Junction, one way or another, I would be happy. If you could find a way to feed and house these ghosts, I would also be happy. And if I'm happy, then I'm willing to arrange some visitation time between you and he stops and cocks his head in a certain way that you think might be his skeletal attempt at a smile. I think that would earn you some time with a Mr. Jacques in the box.
I
Well,
don't laugh in character, please understand.
No, I completely do. Uh, I didn't even catch that joke. Okay, I
well,
should have saw them.
I think we understand. It's gotten through to us. Pop goes the weasel. Let's get moving on that. Nonetheless, we'll be able to get started today with the paperwork you've provided. Thank you very much for your reasonable response to our needs. And of course, we are as eager to make this stop as you are. Sorry for taking up so much of your time.
Lord Giltskull hands you the paperwork and says, I look forward to our arrangement continuing to be mutually beneficial for all.
Okay. I got some ideas, but we'll talk about that later.
Let's get moving. We get out of here. We get outside of the range of people who are clearly employed by him and listening to us. So, I think that was my last fucking straw with him, right? Like, we're we're gonna stop this before we're all wrapped up here, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I mean, I could come down here and punch this hard enough to make it stop, but like, I think we should probably do something smarter than that.
How do you kill what's already dead? We build a little boat.
Uh, well, you see, I have big teeth and things can go away.
I don't think you're supposed to fight crime with the same kind of crime.
I don't know, man. I'm doing my best here. It's the first problem I've seen that I could probably do something about, but I think there's a smarter solution. We'll figure it out topside, especially after we get Monty out. So, you guys. Oh, Void, thank you!
Wow, we
Void!
got our sub goal. Thank you, Void.
Sub goal!
Woo!
That makes a total of 10 subs.
Woo!
We'll have to think of a new goal soon.
Yup. All
Thanks
right.
again.
Thank you, Void. You're awesome. So, the other thing that he mentioned was uh, that he's losing guards down there. So I
Yeah,
think we're going into a viper's nest. And I think everyone should be ready for that. Did you guys remember to bring your gear, your armor?
sure.
Nathan knocks on his cup
Oh, right.
and says yes.
You responded to my request for what weapons and armor you'd like to have by having me burn a bunch of old computer parts. I did forget that happened. I would like you to reconsider at some point.
All right.
But
I
stand
I I
between us and it should be fine.
I think uh I will consider reconsidering.
All right.
Well, technically, your computer could very much be a weapon if you use its influences. You don't have to whack someone on the head with it.
I adjust my ghostly gear into place, grab my hockey stick, and start marching off towards the jailhouse, uh, whistling an old camp song.
The group of you find yourselves uh, at the pit. The fence around the perimeter is the same as ever. Same with the little shack on both sides. However, one thing that you weren't anticipating is about a dozen more guards. 6 of them seem to be on patrol, far more than what you saw here last time. The other 6, 3 are guarding from the inside and 3 from the outside. Interestingly enough, they're armed to the teeth. Knives, swords, guns, a hammer, whatever they've managed to find. They are carrying it. They're also carrying a hodgepodge assortment of armor, flat jackets, random pieces of cast off metal, anything they could find to protect themselves. One is wearing a broken motorcycle helmet, when you can see one eye peering out of it. The behelmeted guard steps forward to see the 3 of you and throws up a hand. Halt, he says. What business have you at the pit, sin eaters?
We have a permit from Lord Commander Mr. Giltskull.
One of the other guards mutters, Lord Paramount. It means he owns the place. You can
Lord.
see this guard roll his eyes dramatically.
We're in an ad break. We're in an ad break.
Yeah.
So the plan from
Sorry.
here is to get in there, talk to Uncle Monty, get him to tell us about places outside of here, and try and track down Screamer, because Screamer actually saw the original versions of these tableaus when they were being used to turn ghosts into kibble. And so, with that information, we might know what on earth was changed, and perhaps what on earth they're doing. At least we're hoping. Because the only other way we're getting information is from Jacques in the Box. I think Jacques in the Box thinks he's going to trick Giltskull into opening the stupid fucking box and letting him out. Which he probably will.
I was gonna say that's not a far cry.
Yeah.
Men like Giltskull always believe they're smarter than everyone else. Anyways, ad break's over. Let's get going.
So you were saying that you were going to present the letter?
Yeah.
Yes, I present the letter.
The guard looks over it before handing it back to you and shrugs. I don't know what the Lord Paramount's thinking, but better you three than me. Just to prepare you, um, there has been a minor riot after the institution of new measures suggested by the Lord Paramount's trusted advisor.
Trusted advisor.
Jack.
Dog.
We are in the process of suppressing the riots. If you're still willing to go in, you have the right.
May I ask what the new measures are?
Oh, yes. There has been instituted a new bounty and rations for reporting anyone who is keeping cast-offs for themselves, anyone who is planning escape or ectophagia, or anyone showing insufficient loyalty to the project. An extra day's rations.
Gotcha.
After the first few informants were torn apart and eaten, uh, the guards went next. So those of us who are armed, well, you can see where this is going.
Let's get moving.
Honest Monday should be on the 9th level, the 5th shaft.
Already.
Thank you. Is there a map?
Guards open the gate and usher you inside. This
Nice.
done, the gate is immediately closed and locked.
I'll take that as a no.
Oh, what was that? I didn't mean. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Is there a map?
I pull out my phone and open the thing, the app that we made.
Yeah, and you also didn't you manually map this out when you were here?
Yeah.
Yeah, the layout of the pit, it spirals downward like uh, like a screw. Each level of the spiral has 10 shafts that go outwards like a spoke. First level, second level, with each level of the pit being narrower and narrower. The 12th level is the current bottom of the shaft of the pit.
Alrighty.
Let's start heading down. I have my whip and my taser and my cup.
All right. Um, we are almost certainly going to be entering into combat, so I'm just going to prep for that. Um, so I'm going to call on my because I believe this lasts for the scene, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to call on my connection to be aggressive and take up their remembrance trait of the brawl skill and the retribution merit.
Oh, and remind me after this, we do need to update the aggressive sheet since she is now a rank 5 ghost.
Woo! Which means I should be at full brawl and full retribution.
And do you have enough plasm to pay for that?
Uh, we've had 3 days. I've eaten the entire C note. Shit, I think I can only afford the brawl. Because I believe it's 1 for 1, right? Dot wise. Oh wait, I only need
Yeah.
3 dots in brawl to fill up, so I'll do that and I'll leave the other 3 in case I need them.
Right. Looks like we're excuse me, but we're gonna need to be breaking for a moment before we move on to the next scene.
I need a cam cover, Jeff.
Be right back.
You got it.
Alrighty.
Just a moment.
So a little bit of intermission before we get into the meat of this. So while
Just
we do, go ahead and
my
uh,
apologies.
go ahead and s feel free to step out and get
Let's all
snacks, get
go to the
water.
lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
Yeah.
All right. I've got you blocked, Lex and Kenny. So
Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. Alrighty.
And okay, there we go.
Electronics 2. What does that do? Da-da. I need to look at the influences.
so
Ah, there it is.
going into this, I'm going to have maxed out brawl. I have almost max strength, so I should be in a good position to fight anything standard in here.
Okay.
Not to mention the ability to call in my 2 dots specialty in hockey as long as I'm beating people with my hockey stick. So that'll be nice. Straightforward. Um, I'm sorry I'm a little low on plasm because I burned an awful lot last session. Oh my god, did I burn so much plasm last session? I got
hmm
myself down to 1. So I've got 4 plasm left total, and I do not want to spend my last one in case, we need an emergency fix of some kind.
Yeah. I mean, we have the C note.
Yes, I've been devouring all of the plasm from the C note. I
Okay.
do apologize, but I needed
No,
it.
that's
But
okay.
it produces 2 a day, and we've
Hmm.
had 3 days. Technically, there was some today I could have taken, but I didn't think of that until just now. So, if that's all right with y'all, um, can I have those last 2 as well? Also, Lex, are you cool to go back on camera? All right. That song goes on lobby. All right. Sorry about that.
So, just so everyone is aware, Nathan is very small, very scrawny. Uh, he's wearing his normal clothes, but he has a giant whip wound about him from shoulder to like across his body. And he has a taser in a very special holster on his hip. The
With
gear looks like it weighs more than he does.
They are both ghostly, but that doesn't matter here. Here everything's solid. Um, because I took these things and I set them on fire out back in the presence of an adult, which is my current ritual for converting things to cast-offs. Based on the rules for destroying woodsy costumes by the official Forestry Service. You must destroy, oh, you must destroy beyond all recognition. You've gotta burn him down, you've gotta burn him down beyond all recognition.
Good.
Completely off topic, but there are 2 cats sleeping on my feet.
Aw.
Aww.
Which ones?
One of them I can tell is Kruger, and the other I have no clue.
It's not
It,
Probably,
Kruger.
probably Olive.
no olives on the desk. I think it's probably colada.
Alright, Kenny, you good? Alright, let's put you back on camera. Everybody ready to rock?
Hey.
Thank you all for your patience. Okay. So, I've spent 3 plasm to gain Brawl 3. I mean, Brawl 5 total. So,
So I have a question about Numina. So so I have my laptop, right?
yes.
It has the implant mission Numina as well as the sign.
Yes.
Can I use that on things other than the what I have influence?
You can use it on anyone that you could target with the Newman. The influences are an entirely separate power set.
Okay. And what is the range on the Numinas?
Kenny, I think you've muted your microphone.
Well, let's see.
It's I'm looking at page 191 of the core Geist book.
Whee!
Alrighty.
I guess there's a duration, but it doesn't say anything about distance.
Implant mission. This Newman grants a mortal a vision of a task the ghost wishes him to accomplish, as well as magical determination to see it through. The ghost pays 2 essence and rolls power plus finesse. On a success, the subject receives a short vision of whatever the ghost wishes him to do and is under the obsessed condition regarding carrying that mission out. So, first off, this directly states mortals,
Hmm.
and you're using it from a cast off. That's
Hmm.
fine. a cast off can be made to use any noumena or influence it has by its wielder, using either its own essence or the Sin Eater's plasm converted into essence. And I would have to say vision range, because there's no range given.
Okay. Shall we make this a little bit easier on us, guys?
Sure.
So, since since I can't do implant mission because it specifically mentions mortals, I still have sign. So, one, cast the Boneyard. Two, find Monty. Three, use sign to get him to come to us
Or at least meet us halfway.
or meet us at a specific spot. Yeah.
I mean, if you want, I'm just worried about him getting caught up in the riot.
Yeah.
I think,
Or we can just tell him to stay put.
um, honestly, I like a combination of both of these ideas. I think locating him first with the boneyard and then working our way directly to his position would be the best possible state of affairs. Because you don't even need to redirect your head to him. You will know of his presence within the boneyard and can find him immediately, I believe is one of the powers you have. So if
Yeah,
you have
yeah,
the
that's just
boneyard up, we can just follow your nose to him.
yeah. And that's just innate to the boneyard.
I would also like you, while you have your boneyard up,
Hmm.
to reach out your senses and see the longest tunnel you can find leading towards the outskirts of Purgatory Junction.
Okay.
All right, with that in play, I'm going to grab Ethan and I am going to throw him up on my shoulders to carry him so he doesn't have to mind his physical body for a bit. I think I've probably got a rope or a backpack or some straps that I can get to keep him in place. And I tell him to let his mind wander while we get moving.
What level of boneyard are you at now?
I'm still at 2. I opted for additional subterfuge rather than increasing the boneyard.
All right. And how much plasm do you want to spend on this cast of the boneyard?
Alrighty. So,
I think you can probably afford max by just turning the key. We don't need to do a lot of things with the boneyard itself.
yeah.
Right. So you still are only at 2 dots, so you don't have the third dot necessary to cover the entirety of Purgatory Junction.
Correct.
I thought you did. That's the thing.
Hold
Well,
on a
not a
sec.
problem.
Hold on a sec. Let me double check the XP expenditures. Maybe it didn't save the experience points.
While that's happening, shall we get Edda crawling down and see what we run into?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Alrighty.
Yeah. From what I'm looking at here, it doesn't look like I ever bought the third dot.
That's a problem.
Yeah. That's not good.
All right, then you can spend up to 3 to get a range of a large house or building,
Hmm.
which I'm willing to say would give you access to all the shafts on a particular level.
Okay.
Well, I think level 9 is probably the one we want.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's do that. I
And then my job will be to get you there.
Mhm.
uh,
Alrighty.
so, if combat breaks out, just to let you guys notice, I am going to have to turn a key to make it vaguely useful. The only good key for me to do this for is silence, because the other impedes my combat ability. So I'm going to be going into full Jason mode if we have to start combat. And I don't want to leave it until we leave, for incredibly obvious reasons. Y'all got handling the dealing with people and talking people down thing, because I'm only going to be good for punch stuff the moment that triggers.
You can trust me to use my mouth.
All right. So the crew begins the descent. At each shaft you pass, there are a small handful of guards manning a barricade made out of whatever wood and metal junk they can find. Um, some of the shafts are quieter than others. Some of them you can hear rowdy ghosts from inside. Some of them you can actually see a crowd of a dozen or more ghosts trying to break through the barricade. The pit must easily house a few hundred ghosts. The sounds from within are concerning. Ghosts screaming in rage, ghosts screaming in pain, cut off abruptly. Even the guard ghosts seem on edge. Occasionally, as you pass a shaft, a guard has enough presence of mind to ask to see your letter, but most of them are too concerned about the riot happening in their own shaft to do much of anything. Eventually, you arrive at the 9th level and the 5th shaft. This one has been barricaded, uh, completely shut, with several ghosts manning a makeshift door into it, making sure no one tries anything. You can occasionally see the barricade judder as ghosts on the other side attempt to make their way through. What
It's
will the
all.
three of you do?
I knock on Ethan's thigh, saying, "Hey, bud, you got that vision up yet?"
Okay. Yeah, and then with that I'll cast the Boneyard.
Because we need to know what's happening on the other side of this door.
Yeah.
All right,
Uh,
roll me synergy plus boneyard.
okay. Boneyard. I could have sworn I got 3. That's so weird.
Yeah, I thought you had at least 3 dots too.
Okay.
There
Can I
there are
can I
certain things.
can I make a deal with you?
What?
So I have 3 dots in alternative identity that I've never used. Since we in canon I have used the 3rd level of Boneyard somehow. How about we scrap the alternate identity and toss that into Boneyard for continuity of plot and XP.
Well, the thing is, it's 3 dots of a merit.
Is 3
Mhm.
Yeah,
XP.
you could just that should be enough because that's an affinity haunt for you.
Yeah.
So Sanctity of Merits just says you can do that.
Yeah, normally I wouldn't do that mid-game, but
But let's make sure that reality continues to check out.
exactly.
Just for everyone playing at home in Chronicles of Darkness, there is a thing called the Sanctity of Merits. Since merits cost XP, what this means is if something happens to negate your merit, like let's say you had a true friend merit, and then someone kills your true friend, the XP isn't lost. You get it back and can spend it on whatever you feel like.
We're here negotiating a way to make sure that the game continues to make sense because there was some level of misunderstanding built through, and we're going to double check our notes
Yeah.
back and forth. I'm willing to bet that there was probably a mistake somewhere. Regardless,
Yeah.
we'll fix this and we'll get back to you. This is also a very important thing to be able to do at any table you're currently running, which is, hey, we've made a mistake. Let's make things work now and keep rolling and sort it out after the game. I
Yeah,
heartily
very true.
recommend that approach at any table you're at, especially ones where there's a lot of rules heavy stuff you'd have to dig through.
Yeah, I believe we call it Calvin Ball rule. We make a temporary ruling for the time to keep things moving.
All right. So, um,
All right, so I was making a roll, I believe.
Yeah, Synergy plus Boneyard. At the third level of Boneyard, you can spend up to 5 plasm on Raise the Boneyard for the area affected.
Okay.
You
So
may
I
also spend additional plasm in order to levy a penalty for leaving the Boneyard equal to the plasm spent, and force anybody within the Boneyard to use a action to do anything.
okay. Okay, so for now I'm just going to do uh the size here, and I'm going to do the um Kia Pyre Flame.
So what? How much? Are you going to spend all 5 on that?
Yeah, I can spend extra plasm down the line to like shift my perspective and enforce rules, right?
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, let's just do the whole big bang, whole big thing. D no, jeez, dice roller just hates me today. All right, rule power for 6 successes. Jeez,
Okay.
thank goodness you got some good sleep last night.
yeah,
On an exceptional success, when the haunt ends without resolving, the Sin Eater regains half the plasm spent on Raise the Boneyard.
okay.
Okay, so you spent all 5. Describe what's going on, please.
Uh, so I used the key of Pyre Flame here. Uh, so Ethan closes his eyes and turns the key, and as when he activates the yes, Jeff.
Um, if I remember correctly, we can turn a key for free in the presence of stuff that's resonant with it, right?
Let's check real quick.
Because we're buried underground in the land of the dead, surrounded by a giant pile of buried, destroyed things. If there is a space that is resonant with the key of grave dirt, I don't know a better one.
The difference is that unlocks strength. Pyre Flame unlocks intelligence.
Ah, sorry. And you need the dice. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll shut up.
By the way, resonance, if a haunt's usage matches the key's resonance, the haunt gains an exceptional success on 3 successes instead of 5.
My apologies, I forgot. There's lots of rules to this game, and I'm trying to remember everything. That was the rule for Changeling. That was the rule for Changeling.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good.
I'm done.
One thing to bear in mind, though, that we haven't brought up before is that when you unlocked a haunt with a key, any enhancements that call for an additional synergy plus haunt roll also benefit from the unlock.
Oh,
Cool.
okay. That's actually really good to know. Um, so when the so Ethan closes his eyes and turns the key, and a small a small and thin uh radius of just like a single like strip of uh small flames radiate out from him, and the individuals and objects within the boneyard are um, are now like outlined in fairy fire.
All right. So now that you have the boneyard set up, what are you going to do with it?
Is who's on the other side of um the blocked wall?
You don't need to shift your perspective. The boneyard gives you the information.
Hmm.
There's a group of about 6 ghosts trying to break through the barricade.
Okay, so they're trapped in there, not trying to hide or shelter.
The barricade appears to be by the guards against them.
Yes. The entrance of the shaft is barricaded shut with a makeshift door, which is currently barred, and the ghosts inside the shaft are attempting to get out.
Second question. Where's Monty?
Yeah. Mhm.
Bear with me a moment. I'm looking over the boneyard to see exactly what you would know without moving your eyes.
Okay. Okay, here's the boneyard condition. Effects. Sin Eater has perfect awareness of the layout, architectural details they control. Characters within the boneyard cannot hide their presence or location from the Sin Eater. Supernatural beings attempting to use magic to hide themselves must make a clash of wills against the bound. The Sin Eater may create minor or cosmetic poltergeist effects within the boneyard, such as flickering lights, slamming doors, or strange sounds as a reflective action. These effects cannot be used to attack, but if someone sticks their hand into the garbage disposal or industrial press, that can inflict damage. Uh, the area of the boneyard gains the open condition for all ghosts. That is the boneyard condition.
Alrighty. Well, the reason I was asking about that is because you know Honest Monty by appearance.
Hmm.
So I was trying to see if your awareness of the boneyard would extend to the identity of the people within it without using eyes in the painting to look directly.
I actually I actually don't think it does.
But we do know where everyone is within the shaft, and then you can answer the third question I have for you.
Mhm.
Are there any shafts that butt up on this one?
That is simple, and you have definitely have the perfect awareness of that. The shaft does not proceed directly straight from where it is dug. It meanders around, uh, digging around large objects or anywhere that is not simple and easy to dig through. And several smaller tunnels do, in fact, butt off from the shaft.
Do any of them connect to the other shafts? Or get close to connecting to them?
Quite a few are pretty close, but with what was the area of the boneyard that you raised, Tibbs?
Size of
Uh,
Purgatory Junction, I believe.
Everything.
yeah.
So yes, there are several shafts that connect, but it seems to be a thing that happens by happenstance. So uh, it's not something that you see regularly down there.
Okay.
So we have two options. Option one. I punch through this barricade, or open this barricade and punch through the people who want to get out. And we make our way to Monty. Option two. You locate Monty and get him into this room. So when we open the barricade, we can grab him, pull him through, and try and shut it again. Option three, we go into another tunnel that is, well, probably still violent, at least one where we can walk through the door of, and use the connecting tunnels to get there. Possibly with a little mole action by Jasonified me.
Okay.
Which one of those do you want to give a shot?
Well, um, I am providing the information. Um,
I think this is I think this is uh, Nathan's grandpa here. So, Nathan, what do you think?
Was there anything that said that we had to contain the prisoners?
No, they just said what Gilt Skull said is that you have to retrieve them yourself.
Oh,
Cool. Well, I don't
uh,
give a shit about the rest of these prisoners.
so
Open the door.
yeah, that seems like a guard problem. I stand out of the way and I pull the bar off the cage. We have permission to open the cage. And there was never anything implied that we had to do anything to keep them inside the cage. Just that we had to survive and retrieve him on our own.
I look at
Okay.
the I look at the guards and I say, "All right, are you guys ready?"
I,
Kenny, I've never done this before. How do I use a remembrance trait?
All right. Bear with me briefly.
It's
So,
gotten really dark in here. Just a second.
to use your remembrance trait, you spin the plasm to gain dots in the trait up to the rank of your Geist. Uh, if the remembrance trait is a merit with a fixed dot cost, then it's all or nothing. If it's something like a skill, then you can pay for what you want.
Okay, so if it's a 3-dot merit, I would pay 3 plasm.
Yes. And
Perfect.
after you're done, you gain the Echoes condition.
I don't know what that one
We
is. Hold on.
we will be you will be worse at the thing you were doing than you were when you started. So
That's fine. Okay, Kenny, I would like to spend 3 plasm, and I will be rolling presence plus expression to use Prom Queen's Inspiring on the guards and our party. And possibly
All
the
right.
people on the other side of the fence, too.
So just by the way, to let you know what the Echoes trait does is after the scene is over, uh, you would get a -1 to all actions involving that remembrance trait for a while. This would last until you either buy a dot in any merit or skill you've used as a remembrance trait while possessing Echoes, or you gain an exceptional success on any roll using a remembrance skill without boosting it with plasm.
Okay. I think I understand that.
so you
But I'm
either
willing
need
to take that hit. Okay, so I'm gonna roll presence plus expression. 1 success.
All right, and what remembrance trait of the Prom Queen are you using?
The inspiring merit.
All right. Take a look at that real quick.
This is actually incredible. So, what goal do you have in mind for inspiring?
We are gonna get through this safe. We are gonna accomplish this mission. A bad one. Why are you laughing?
It's clever. It's really clever. Exactly the way you worded it is really clever.
Sorry, I'm
So,
trying to find it. The inspiring merit.
The one I COFD 51.
inspiring 3, presence 3. Your character's passion inspires those around her to greatness. With a few words, she can redouble a group's confidence or move them to action. Make a presence plus expression roll. A small group of listeners levies a -1 penalty, a small crowd a -2, and a large crowd a -3. Listeners gain the inspired condition. The character may not use this merit on herself. The inspired condition, you can cash it out to turn 3 successes into an exceptional success.
All right. So, is that roll that you made to use the inspiring merit?
Yes, it was.
All right. And who are you using it on?
The guards and Ty and Ethan. I
All
didn't
right.
realize there was a negative, so if I need to roll again, I absolutely can.
I'm good with 1 success. So you and the what are you going to say to you and the guards, to your crew and the guards?
We can do this. We are going to get through this safely. We are going to accomplish our mission.
All right. Everybody involved gets the inspiring merit. Inspired merit.
All right, I am inspired as per the condition. I grab my hockey stick and brace myself for the flood of human. Well, ex-human.
Nathan steps back a bit.
The guards weren't happy when you informed them of your intention to open the door, but the letter from Gilt Skull is absolute. The speech, however, seems to hearten the guards.
Who's opening the door?
I am.
Uh, how about does it open in or out?
There's a bar, so it has to open out.
Okay. So how about since I don't have any combat stuff up right now, I open the door and use it to block them from getting to me and having uh Ty right there ready to go.
All right. So once I get in there, um, I need you guys to shut the door again,
Am I going in with you?
if you want.
Okay, yeah.
If you feel you want to be in the danger zone, you can come on through. If not, seal the door.
So who's going in?
Nathan will. This is his grandfather, after all.
I'm going to need you to operate via sign and the boneyard from where you're at. So make sure
Mhm.
the guards get the door shut, and make sure the guards open the door for us when we come back.
Alrighty.
Sorry, we need somebody outside this door. Sorry to turn you into the net runner today.
No, that's kind of what he's built for.
All right, so I'm gonna get through this door.
All right. Ty
Um,
opens the door.
I think that this probably looks like a athletics plus stamina
To open a door?
to force my way through a crowd of humans.
Ah, yes. Make the roll.
And I feel like this is something like body checks in hockey have definitely set me up for this. Will you let me use my specialization in hockey?
Yes.
All right, so that's a grand total of 11 dice. Woo.
Can I roll composure and survival to thread through right behind Ty?
Sure. Makes sense to me.
All right. 2 successes.
One success.
All right. The moment the door is opened, the 6 ghosts beating on the barricade attempt to make their way through. Ty is able to muscle directly through them, letting Nathan pop in behind him and bob and weave their way through. The door is shut before the 6 ghosts can escape. The 6 angry ghosts immediately turn their attention to the 2 of you. What will you do?
Listen, I'm here to get one of you out, figure out what's going on down here. If you guys want to have any chance of ever getting out of here properly, you're going to let me do what I'm going to do. Or I can bash your head in with this big ol' stick. Those are the options. I'd
All
like
right,
to
roll
make a composure plus intimidation physical.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I'll allow that.
I feel like right now looking completely unbothered is probably the most scary I could be in the middle of a prison riot. So, come on. Exceptional success. Also, um, I love that I rolled 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8.
Okay. So the 6 angry ghosts calm down as they hear what you have to say. One of them in the back starts whispering to his comrades. Uh, you see him wave a hand around at the area around the group. Uh, you 2 are very much used to your liminal aura at this point, so it doesn't often come up to you. But upon remembering this function of yourselves as sin eaters. Uh, you see the warmth and the light spreading across the area as small bits of underworld flora uh, grow around your feet. The feeling of life coming comes to the dead in the presence of a sin eater. The six ghosts, realizing that they're dealing with two sin eaters, stand down.
Nathan has been prepared for this for a while, and he does have his backpack, but it is below his whip. So, Ty, are you able to fish around in his backpack for the uh ghostly granola bar grave goods? I believe I
Absolutely.
have 6. No, I believe I have 8.
I reach into your backpack and fish them out and give them to you to distribute.
All right, so give 1 to each of the 6 that we have here, and we'll keep the other 2 in reserve for when we need them. And I ask if they can lead us to Honest Monty.
The ghosts gratefully take the offerings of food, but on the mention of Honest Monty, they immediately go stiff and perhaps paler than a ghost normally would. One of them steps forward and says, sirs, Honest Monty might be a little difficult to find right now. Um, after the riot let out, after the riot started, some of the boys down here decided it was an opportune time to take a little revenge on him.
Which way did he go? Or is he dead? Eaten. Sorry, you know what I mean.
No, but I don't know. I don't think anyone here knows. I think the last person to see him was Torso.
Where's Torso?
Uh, Torso's overseer of this block. Um, he was trying to keep some of the boys from eating any more of the guards. Um, I guess that he's probably 2 shafts past the house.
All right. Let's get moving then. Thank you, boys. I tap on a wall trying to get the attention of a person I am sure is paying attention to me.
Hmm.
And I say aloud as if musing to myself, I wonder if there is anywhere I could tell these boys might be an easier exit connected to this tunnel.
And I use my laptop to put an X on a thin spot of the wall to
Uh,
go heading to one of the other shafts.
you guys might be able to find an easier door to get through if you go this way. They've got this one pretty well barricaded.
The ghosts thank you for the information and run off down the shaft.
Listen, I have one, there's no way the guards can hear me through a barricade. Two, I am under no obligation to make their lives easier. Three, if there is problems going on in the shaft when we get back, it'll be a lot easier to exit without any questions. Let's get moving. We're looking for Torso. We're looking for Torso.
So Let's make a navigation roll here.
I imagine streetwise cuts just short.
Give me just a moment here. All right. In the underworld, the best ways to navigate are, let's see, architecture, instinct, or key, or society. But society wouldn't really work right here in a mine shaft.
Can I do intelligence plus occult
For what?
to help them navigate?
Oh, well, yeah, you are playing Netrunner, so yeah, you can roll for navigation.
Hmm. Alrighty. And alrighty. Done. Intelligence plus occult. 9. 2 successes.
Alrighty. So you're looking at the maps that your mapping app has on the cast-off laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Using the information you get from the boneyard, you can tell where people are, but not who they are, not without looking.
Mm-hmm.
So you plot out the locations of people on the map. Uh, you have a decent idea of where all the people in this shaft are, but not who they are. Since you were able to hear I believe you can hear what's being said with the boneyard within it, right? It says you have an awareness of everything that goes on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're easily able to feel out the area of the shaft that the other ghosts referred to as the house. And able to point the other rest of the crew to it.
I follow the I follow the
So
little marks on the wall.
so I'm able to use so that I don't have to spend plasm every time I want to do sign. With the boneyard, I can do small poltergeist effects. So there is a uh, running running across the uh, center floor of the mine shaft is just a similar like little thin uh, embers uh, guiding them to down the optimal path.
Gotcha. So we're following a will-o'-the-wisp. I love it.
The shaft is a tunnel dug directly into the side of the pit. The loose, dry soil and rocks of the underworld don't have a lot of integrity, so the shaft is reinforced with various pieces of junk found here and there, wood, metal, poles, anything that might work for it. So here and there, you can see hints of gleaming metal and glass through various small holes in the shaft wall. As you walk down there, sometimes larger bits and pieces of cast-offs poke through. An entire board poking through the wall here, the arm of a statue there. Eventually, you come to the area of the shaft that is unmistakably the house. The shaft ends, seemingly, as it intersects with a one-story house turned nearly on its side under the ground. The door is open. In fact, it's ripped off its hinges. And you can see that the various doors lead out, like the back door through the kitchen and such, lead out into other smaller shafts butting off. A handful of ghosts seem to be taking refuge here, with one ghost in particular appearing to act the part of leader. Floating in the air, clad in rags, is a headless, limbless torso. The other ghosts murmur to themselves, and occasionally the torso will vibrate in one direction or another.
Woo! Thank you!
Oh. Thank you for the anonymous sub. We appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. You're not sure what's being said, but it's clear that whatever the torso is doing is having a calming effect on the other ghosts. They seem to understand what it means.
Ah. You're better at talking to people.
Excuse me, we're looking for a torso?
The floating torso begins vibrating from side to side violently.
It's wonderful to meet you. We were actually sent your way to inquire about a worker who you may have last seen. We're under orders from the...
We're looking for him. We're hoping to get him out of here.
Yes.
The torso waits expectant.
His name is Honest Monty.
Flecks of blackened, ghostly blood erupt from the wounds on the torso's neck and limbs. One of the ghosts sitting under the sitting against the wall stands up and says, as much fun as this is, Torso, I think I think you're gonna need some help translating. He rummages around in a box nearby and pulls out the severed head of a ghost whose eyes are darting around. The mouth has been gagged. The ghost slaps the head around and says, "You play nice." He plops it on top of the severed neck stump of Torso and undoes the gag around its mouth. The head immediately starts screaming, but this only lasts for a second before its face takes on a more serious tone. All right, you shut up. 5 minutes. The head atop the floating torso turns around and says, "So you were actually trying to bust Honest Monty out of here?"
Under orders from Lord Commander Guild Skull. Lord Paramount Guild Skull. I would have said it properly in person.
Listen, we need to know what's going on in here, and this is the one we were able to get permission on. Cooperate with us, and everything goes a lot easier.
And you'll never
Well,
have to see him again.
honestly, that sounds good. Uh, Currently, Honest Monty is hiding down a shaft with a buddy of his. Uh, he gave me all his cast-offs to share with my crew here if I kept it secret. But if you're looking to get him out, I guess he'd be willing to let me tell you. Yeah?
So, uh, so I use the ghost flames that I've been using to guide them to to lay out a map of the shaft that they're in. So and and just the wait, yeah, just yeah, on the ground in front of everybody, there's a map of the shaft that they're in.
Torso floats over to where the map has been displayed, uh, and points to a shaft that connects out the back door of the house, then buds off going right, then points to an area that uh, turns back, turns left, and goes further on. It goes up. There is a cave. Uh, it had a rich vein of paper, but it's tapped out. No one goes down there anymore because there's nothing to eat. So that's where he's hidden out. But I'd hurry if I were you. Lots of folk are looking for him. Monty got a lot of guys in trouble with his fake escape ski.
Gotcha.
Well, as thanks for your forthcomingness, I hand Torso one of the actual granola bars, not the cast off ones.
The granola bar falls to the ground as the head atop torso, looks at it. He nods to one of the other guys and says, "All right, grab it and share it amongst yourselves and get this idiot off me. I don't like his thoughts."
Um, I think it's best if we get motion from what they were saying. So, I speculate aloud as if to an imagined audience. If if only somebody were paying attention down that shaft and could see how many figures are between us and there, and perhaps identify how many people are there, or if anyone was heading there other than us.
Is there anybody moving in that direction?
You don't need to make any rolls for this since you have the boneyard up, but there is a small crowd of ghosts in that area.
I
All right.
yeah, um once again using that the same map, uh, I I put down little dots of flame for where that crowd is and how many they are with an arrow uh pointing towards the direction of where where they were hiding out.
So, question for you, Kenny. We are in the underworld. We are well below ground. I imagine we are in a cold, cold place. Would you call this ground frozen?
It's not literally frozen, no.
Damn. I really, really need to get at some more boneyard out of you.
It's in the works. It's in the works.
Sorry, one of them lets him apply a condition to his entire boneyard, which would allow me to turn everything into a hockey rink. And I am better at hockey than anyone else is at walking on ice. All right, I get in motion. I am going to book it.
The head atop torso says, "Good luck, you two. You're gonna need it." The head atop him changes expression and starts screaming again. Help! Help! They ate me! They ate me! The head is then gagged and put back into the box. There, save you for later, idiot. The torso vibrates and spins in a circle before drifting back over to his friends.
This is clearly a problem, but not one we are equipped to solve, nor one that we have the time to deal with. All in favor? Let's get moving. We head towards the crowd. I'm prepared for combat.
Same.
The two sin eaters make their way into the cavern that was pointed out to them. And this is the scene that you come upon. Nathan immediately recognizes the ghost called Honest Monty. His grandfather, even 50 years younger, looks more or less like you remember. He's wearing rags and pressed against the very edge of the cavern as if he were hoping to sink through the wall. Another ghost that bears a strange but striking resemblance to Monty stands between him and a crowd of others. Let us through, says the other one. Says the ghost opposite him. It's not you we want. It's Honest Monty. Thanks to him, we all lost a week's rations. If we don't eat something soon, walls are going to eat us, and you know that.
Can
The
can I can I do a little bit of showmanship here?
sure.
So when it's appropriate, okay, before they notice my crewmates here, I want to do a wall of flames, superficial, illusionary, basically, right? And then when Ty steps through it, a uh, basically a a um, small layer of frost emanates forward and covers the walls and floor of the area.
You say frost or broth?
Frost.
Okay, that makes more sense than broth.
I'm pretty chill.
All right, so where do you want this to happen?
Wherever is dramatically appropriate.
So I'm gonna march forward and say, "Excuse me, folk. I was just passing through. I'm gonna need to get through here."
So if you don't have a specified place, then how about between Monty and the crowd?
That seems great.
Yeah. So a bit of flames between Monty and the crowd, and then uh, starting from back the the shaft, go, going from where the crew is coming from through to the flames, just in like 2 seconds, the whole area is covered with a layer of frost.
Granted, that is cosmetic frost.
Yep.
Yes, yes.
It won't do me any mechanical good, but it is certainly going to get their attention. And
Uh,
so
A
Lex, this
threat would be presence, correct?
a what?
A
threat.
threat?
Presence plus intimidation, yes.
All right, would you like me to assist that role? Because if there was ever a time I was in a position to assist, I think the physical presence plus intimidation of the giant fucking scary dude is probably it.
Yes, please.
You got it. So, presence, intimidation, physical. For 5 dice. No. Yes.
Hooray!
Two
And
successes to
plus
add to yours.
and the +1 bonus for the intimidation effect that Tibbs gave you. Environmental effect. Sorry.
Do I re-roll that?
It's up to you.
Fuck it, one success is a success. Excuse me. You'll lose a lot more than that if you don't unhand Honest Monty. He's been summoned by Lord Paramount Giltskull. I did not do that in character. That was
The ghosts arguing with the one called I freeze and stop when they hear your voice and see the flames erupt. Uh, before the lead ghost can stammer out a reply, the ghost he was talking with, the one called I, grabs him and bites deeply into his neck. I don't know why you're here for Monty, he says, ripping out chunks of ectoplasmic flesh while his victim screams. But get him now.
I
Did
reach.
he just bite Monty?
No,
No.
he bit one of the guys trying to attack Monty. I reach into
Okay.
my bag, and I'm going to pull out my grave goods and toss them in the form of whatever a scatterable sort of snack or candy, something that people would find appealing to eat and also have to like scrabble on the floor to go grab to
I
get their
do the
essence out of
same,
it.
but with a real bag of trail mix, the kind with chocolate chips.
Yeah, but these people specifically need but still a good idea. Yeah.
All right, make some sort of roll then.
Uh
Uh,
I'm going to go streetwise plus presence to, try and throw this in such a way that it's going to cause the crowd to kind of get distracted dealing with this rather than dealing with me. That makes sense?
yeah.
I'd like to use composure plus persuasion. I'm persuading them to leave this guy alone and chase
Leave
something
Monty
else.
alone.
Yep.
Okay.
One success.
3 successes.
Hey Lex, would you like that to be a exceptional success?
That would be great, but I didn't inspire myself.
Ah, my apologies.
Sorry, I'm excluded from the effects of that.
Stupid me.
All right. The ghosts scatter to pick up the food. The eye drops the ghost that he just bit a chunk out of and says, "Go eat, heal yourself up, and leave my boy alone." He wipes the ectoplasm off his face and smiles at you. Can you drop the flame? I think they're good.
I snap my fingers, hoping that our net runner gets the idea
The
and drops it immediately.
the the flames the flames turn to ice and shatter.
Monty,
Behind them, behind the flames, Honest Monty looks like he would probably be having a panic attack if he were biologically capable of doing so.
hey Monty, I got the best news of your life. Your grandkid wants to see you. Let's get moving.
Monty looks around before a brief flicker of recognition goes through his eyes. Grandkid? The ghost called Eye smiles widely and goes to smack Monty on the back. You never told me you had kids, son. Introduce me.
Can we start moving as I make
We
my
will have this
introduction?
conversation, but we're having it back the way we came. I have picked up Monty and we are moving.
Ah, you must be my great grandfather.
Uh, with Honest Monty around, it's clear that the ghosts would very much like to attack you, but a look at the other ghosts uh, with you seems to give them a better gives them a different idea, causing them to shrink off. You're able to exit the shaft unharmed.
So, on the way back, there was the house, and nobody was described as being inside the house, so it might be a good place to stop and have a conversation. How about we
There was
stop?
Torso and his pals, but they're not hostile.
Okay, so we'll get past them because I would like to have this conversation in private. There was a part of the maze where nobody was, I feel like.
Yeah.
So we're going to get there, and I'm going to politely ask our door alarm to keep an eye, lookout for any motion towards us, and flick on the lights if anyone's coming.
Yep.
So, um, I've got some great news for you guys. One, Monty's getting out today. Two, we are going to get everyone out of this fucking hellhole.
The two ghosts look to each other and then back to you. What?
But this ain't my spot. I feel like this is more of a family moment.
Hi, I'm Nathan. I'm your grandson and your great grandson, and we've come to get you out of here. But we didn't know that you existed, so we are going to have to go through with our other plan. But we can't tell you about that yet. But it's going to be good. We're going to get you out of here, and honest Monty, honest Monty, you're not allowed back in Purgatory Junction. Apparently, you've started a lot of shit.
Hey, he says, I was just looking out for myself. This is a rough place.
Yeah. How do you feel about just going back to the world up above then?
He nods and says, okay, I could deal with that.
Yeah, of course he can.
Hey,
The ghost that they were calling Eye looks up at you and smiles. They call me the Hungry Eye down here, he says. Uh, you can just call me Tom.
Here you go, Tom. I know it's not much, but hopefully it'll get you through a day or two.
He takes it and whatever you offer him and puts it in his pocket and says, thanks, but I'm good down here. I haven't been hungry once since I died.
Well,
He
then
no-
we'll consider it an offering of filial piety.
he smiles and says, so Sin Eater, huh? You from Whispering Peaks too?
All the dead ones are.
Well, not everyone around here. It's a big underworld. But hey, is the Mad Undertaker still hopping around?
Yes.
Tell him Tom says hi.
I'm sorry, this laughter is completely out of character.
Question for you. Um, does he appear to be the rank of a Geist? Uh, or is he like a
He's
normal ghost?
he definitely appears to be a powerful ghost.
Okay.
So from your guys' perspective, when you're looking at Tom here, on the on the wall behind him, just above his head, from your perspective, you see the word sus.
I nod to myself, say, I'm glad you're going to be okay.
He shrugs and says, I'm just glad to hear there are some folks around to keep up the traditions. He claps Nathan on the back and says, go out there and take a big bite of the world, kid.
I feel like Nathan's family is a lot more interesting than we have yet believed in this point.
Apparently. Okay, that's it. We gotta go. We don't have much time.
All right. So heading out of the shaft?
Yep. So as I am wandering back with Monty over my shoulder for the appearance of the thing, and also in case anyone tries to stop me or him, uh, I mutter as if to myself, it sure would be nice if somebody who had the information were paying attention to the entire layout of this place and could perhaps remember those things for later, for a map of some sort.
So the three of you get back to the barricade. The ghosts who were trying to get out of it are now gone. So you have a clear shot out so long as the door is open.
Shave and a haircut.
I I open the door.
All right. The door is open. You guys heading out?
Yep, very out.
We just, yeah, I shut the door behind me and we leave.
It,
All right. The group of you head back up the and out of the pit. The guards happily close the gate behind you. Honest Monty, Winston Cartwright, is a small man, 5'8", thin, definitely younger than you remember, Nathan, but that's to be expected from the pictures that were all over town. He looks vaguely confused, but seems to have some level of recognition. He coughs politely and says, "So, are you really my grandkid?"
Yeah. You taught me everything I know about yelling at people.
He looks very, uh, he looks very, wistful and a little embarrassed. I, uh, I don't remember much, he says. I just remember thinking for a lot of time that there was something more when you die, not just a hole in the ground. Sorry, I don't remember you.
That's okay. I'm gonna figure out how to give you a memory because I've got plenty. So when I
Do you,
figure it out, I'll give you a good one.
do you remember your wife?
Honest Monty screws up his face in thought. Kinda? I know I was married, but I don't remember what she looked like.
Well, she's still up and kicking.
And I
Nathan
knew that
actually,
I had a kid, but that's all I remembered about the rest of my family. That and vague memories of my own dad.
Nathan actually pulls out his wallet where he has, because he's a fucking dork, a picture of his grandmother. And he shows it to Monty.
Monty chews on his lips as a variety of expressions pass across his face. There's something, kid. She looks familiar, but I don't remember anything. He shakes his head. I'm sorry.
You don't have to be sorry. That's part of all of this.
Speaking of things you do remember, I need to know some things that Honest Monty knows.
He coughs awkwardly. That I can help you with.
So we hear you were dealing with people outside of Purgatory Junction. That true?
He nods and says, "Hell yeah, I was able to get quite a deal on some sweet cast-offs to sell around town. My contact didn't really need them. They weren't any good to him because he was alive, but not a what do you call it that Dad called you, Sin Eater?
I I rattle off the description of Screamer. That guy?
Yeah, that's the guy. He had a camp a few miles south. It was across the river from Sisyphus's Hill, um, right past the Wood of Suicides.
Could you take us there? We need to find him.
Yes, he says. Uh, but you guys happen to have like a couple coins for the ferryman? Otherwise, this is gonna be a walk.
Uh, I rattle around in my pocket. Does he take like a specific coinage, or is it just coins in general?
As far as I can tell, as long as their legal tender somewhere up above, they'll take them. They're not very chatty.
I go into my pocket and fish out my wallet, pulling out a couple of coins I use for the coin lockers at the Y. Um, I think I got enough for everybody.
Uh, Nathan pulls out his Aldi's cart quarters.
All right, we're good, but maybe we should head topside first, cause I can tell you where to find the guy, but if you're getting me out of here, I would like to get out now.
Jeff noticing the time in real life. Yes, yes. We've been down here for a really long time and we're all extremely tired. We should definitely go home. Besides, I think your grandkid would like to spend some time with his grandpa.
All right. So let's have one last scene before as we leave. The three sin eaters guide the ghost of Nathan's grandfather out of Purgatory Junction, up the stairs, and into the graveyard. Not too far away, you can hear the joyous song of the Mad Undertaker, punctuated occasionally by a few oofs from a ghost being hit in the head with a shovel. He comes floating over the hill, looking at you from underneath his bowler cap, his eyes glowing bright yellow, his smile huge as always. Why, my sin-eater friends, I see you have accomplished an Orphean task and rescued a ghost from the underworld.
We also found a friend of yours.
Oh,
A
I'm
man,
afraid I don't have very many friends.
a man named Tom said that you would remember him.
For the first time since you've met him, the Mad Undertaker drops his smile completely and says, being bound to that man for 20 years was bad enough. You tell him to go fuck himself. And good day. He prances off extra quickly, only stopping to occasionally hit a ghost in the head with a shovel.
Well, there's an answer for you. Um,
A little
It
bit of
seems like
And
it seems
what was
like
that?
more than just me and my family has been a Geist.
So I think we'll end here.
Sin Eater, but yes. Holy shit, guys!
Wait, no, I'm sorry. Did we just reveal that my great grandfather is a fucking serial killer?
He was a sin eater.
We
He
don't know
was
what he
bound to
did.
that man.
He was bound to
He-
a serial killer who clearly didn't like the experience, so it's entirely possible they didn't do any serial killing.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, let's go over everyone's aspirations.
Um, get scouted for college hockey. I've been doing more hockey stuff. I continue to hockey. Um, find a way to put the Undertaker underground. I followed up on finding some leads for getting more strength. Uh, find a way to get stronger. I got a lead on how to pick up new haunts and thus possibly build some more strength. I found a way to be useful anymore. Well, it turns out that if I were to raise Be Aggressive's rank one more degree, they would have the Influence 6 sickness to allow themselves to meddle with disease on a permanent scale, possibly changing the extreme permanency of Chloe's illness to something that could be cured by a doctor, rather than forever leaving them in a wheelchair. I feel that counts as useful.
Yep.
And find out what lies behind the walls of Purgatory Junction. We just got a map!
Yep.
All right.
Who's next?
I'll go next. So get to know Josie. I took 0 steps. Oh, wait, no. I used her remembrance trait. Would that count?
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect. Okay, steps there. Rescue my grandpa's ghost. Burden, long term. I think I stepped and cleared, so that was a long-term burden that I cleared in 2 steps.
Yep.
Drill the hole. Oh my god. Not you. Sorry.
The one that got those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I have scratches on my back right now. Okay. Drill the hole. I think we took a step towards that with mapping.
Yep.
Look into my family tree. I didn't take any steps towards that because I literally just put it on there.
I mean, you just found out that your great grandpa was a sin eater.
I know, but I had it as eat nuts before, and I didn't take any steps towards that, so I'm just preemptively changing it for next time.
So it's not
Gotcha.
for this session. Anyways.
Gotcha.
Correct.
Gotcha.
So get into the pit, step and clear.
Yep.
Cool, that was me.
All right. Get out of Whispering Peaks. I'm starting. I think Ethan is starting to. Well, I mean, he's in downtimes. He's making friends with more powerful people who can help in that regard. World record speedrun. So he's today he's yeah, at the start of the session he did spend a bit of time kind of playing around with and like theory crafting how he can use some of his Geist abilities to kind of aid in that speed run.
Fair enough.
Who wrote the Necronauticon? For that, I believe we had a crew action that was investigating these nuts.
And also, I spent a action looking into their granddaughter. So we've got a lot of information on that.
And
Yep.
then I don't believe we made any progress to humiliate Kimball.
That's also true.
So, and that's me.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming out to watch us today. We always greatly appreciate it. The session will be up on YouTube later tonight for anyone who prefers to watch the VODs. See you again in 2 weeks, and thanks again for coming out.